You never really know fear until it creeps up behind you, wrapping itself around your soul like a cold, lifeless hand. I learned this the hard way in November 2019, in the dead of night at GMCH-32, a hospital in Chandigarh. A place that was supposed to heal the living but seemed to serve as a playground for the dead. I had taken leave from work in Delhi to escape the suffocating pollution and spend time with my family. Coincidentally, my father was admitted to GMCH-32 for hernia surgery. As the dutiful son, I volunteered for the night shifts at his bedside. Little did I know those nights would etch themselves into my memory like a scar. The surgery went well, and my father was placed in the trauma ward, surrounded by patients clinging to life. The first few nights passed without incident. I'd fall asleep around midnight and wake up to the dull hum of hospital life. But on the sixth night, sleep eluded me, and something else entirely found me. It began subtly. At around 1:30 in the morning, the hospital sank into an eerie stillness, the kind that makes your skin prickle. As I stepped out for a walk, I noticed the male nurses at their desks, heads buried in their phones, oblivious. The corridors were cold, the fluorescent lights flickering faintly, casting unsettling shadows. I continued walking until, at 2 in the morning, the silence shattered. Every door in the hallway erupted into a frenzy of banging. It was deafening, chaotic, as if unseen hands were slamming against them with all their might. My heart raced as I froze, unsure if I was awake or trapped in a nightmare. Panic surged as I rushed back toward my father's ward. No signs of smoke, no alarms blaring, just the relentless, unearthly sound of banging. I called out to one of the nurses, but he didn't flinch, his gaze fixed on his phone like he couldn't hear the chaos. As I edged closer to one of the doors, I saw it was locked from the outside, yet it shook violently, the metal lock rattling as if it might burst. My legs trembled, but curiosity, or maybe stupidity, drove me forward. Then I heard it. A voice from a nearby room, faint but unmistakable, calling my name. My blood ran cold. The door to the room was ajar and the fan inside was running at full speed. The curtains flapped wildly, though the November chill should have stilled them. The voice came again, weak and desperate, calling out to me for help. My mind screamed to run, but my body betrayed me. I turned to the nurse again, trembling, and whispered what I'd heard. Without even looking at me, he muttered, "This happens every night. It'll stop by 3:30 in the morning." True to his word, the banging ceased just before dawn. As sunlight spilled into the corridors, my fear turned to curiosity. I lingered, waiting for someone to unlock the door that had been banging so violently. At 9 in the morning, the staff opened it. Inside, I found nothing. Just a small kitchen, empty, save for a wash basin and some utensils. The next night was worse. A new patient had joined the ward, a man recovering from surgery. Late in the night, he begged his family for a cigarette. Despite protests and warnings, they relented, lighting one under his quilt. Moments later, chaos erupted. The nurses rushed in only to uncover the man's lifeless body beneath the quilt. The air grew heavy with dread, the kind that sinks into your bones. The doors banged again that night, but I didn't dare step out. The ward itself felt alive, pulsating with an energy I couldn't explain. Shadows seemed to move in the corners of my vision, and the air grew unnaturally cold. Over the next few nights, I came to a grim acceptance. The hospital wasn't just a place for the living, it belonged, perhaps more so, to those who had crossed over. The nurses, jaded and resigned, simply carried on. "It is what it is," one of them said. One night I wandered to a room with a glass door. Through the semi-transparent curtain, I saw a bulb flickering and a fan spinning furiously. The curtain danced, but the room was empty. The door banged incessantly, as if begging to be opened, but I stayed rooted, unable to move closer. By the time my father was discharged, I had become spiritually numb. Whatever haunted GMCH-32 would remain there, tied to its cold walls and shadowy corners. I returned 2 years later, and the night still hummed with the same sinister energy. But by then I had learned to respect the unseen. To this day, the memory of that hospital clings to me, a chilling reminder that some places never truly let go of their dead.